Stop number 4 of the Traveling Table Summer Tour in the books. Yep, earlier this year in the spring, I packed this thing up and spent the summer traveling around, visiting with people. I like to see where they live, create, relax, and what makes them tick. And today's guest, what makes him tick is traveling. And I'm a big fan of traveling as well, so we get to hear some great stories from him. And he does one of the 10 most dangerous hikes there is. But before we get into all that, as always, got a couple things I want to throw your way. Live Rishi, continuing support of the show. Love these guys. High quality, organic CBD product. You know, you got some looking for a good night's sleep. You want to relax a little bit. You got some sore muscles, aching joints. Got some jump over, liverishi.com. You got some tinctures and Rishi Rub that'll help you out with any of those. And now they have shaving cream. Got to check that out. Been using these guys for years. Love them. Great product, great company. Check them out, liverishi.com. Use the code word TABLE. Let them know I sent you and get a kick-ass discount. Now, not sure where you're listening to this, but I got a YouTube channel and would love your support. Jump over to YouTube, and underneath my smiling mug, there's a big red subscribe button. If you could hit that, like and share, I would appreciate it. It helps the channel out a ton. And moving forward, there's going to be more and more video content on there. Right now, it's some video and obviously all the audio for these, so you can find them easier and listen to them. And then also I found out whatever platform you're on, Stitcher, iTunes, any of those, to write a review, you don't have to technically write anything anymore. So you can just click the stars. If you could help out on that too, it's great. And if you like what you hear, tell a friend or 7. So on to the show. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Like I said today, Jason, we have a great relaxed conversation about his traveling. He got bit by the bug big time, and very interesting. And, he went from a wannabe pilot to an executive chef to an uber-talented cinematographer. And he filmed my wedding, so I know he's uber-talented in that aspect. Then his story. He's got an awesome story, one of his many stories, but his story about hiking the Kyle Isle Trail. All I'm going to say is white knuckles. Let's get to it.
To the top of the
No, it looked good.
Okay, cool.
And can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
Sound good?
Yeah, good. How about me?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Dude, this is a cool spot.
Yeah.
You're going to hear, just so people are listening and watching,
A little bit of
echo and a lot of movement around, but we're in a cool creative space. I'll have the details in the show notes, but thanks for having me down, dude, and setting up these cameras.
Oh, thanks
First
for
time
asking.
on film, dude.
Yeah, I figure, for your YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. And last time I saw you was my wedding, right?
Yeah.
And you were behind the camera.
Yeah.
You filmed it, right?
Film your wedding, yeah.
Yeah. Drone, everything.
Yeah, it was a single shooter. I did a little bit of it all.
You got to stay on, just so you got to stay on top of it pretty good.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of everything.
Now, were you the one that did our first look and all that? I think so, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was only me.
Yeah, that was fun, dude. That was a fun day.
Mm-hmm.
Hot as a motherfucker, dude. I remember that.
For September, yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah, that's where we did it toward the end of September, trying to cool it down a little, but that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. But we touched on a little bit traveling. Dude, what the hell, man? Do you have any more room in your passport?
Not really.
So
I got the travel bug,
There's none. I love fucking traveling.
Yeah.
Love traveling. I like coming home, though.
Yeah, depends. I think I did a 10-day in Italy, and after that, I was ready to come home. You know?
Yeah?
Yeah, it was it was long, and we really pushed ourselves. When you go to Italy, some people just visit 2 places. I mean, we started at Venice, and then we went to Cinque Terre, then we went to Pisa, Tuscany, went to Rome, went to Positano.
Holy shit.
And went to Capri, and then came back to Positano.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Back up, though.
And then back to Rome. Huh?
Holy, in 10 days. All that in 10 days.
Yes, all that in 10 days. You know what it's like just like, I think is the coolest thing, getting in a car and driving around some other country.
Absolutely.
You
See,
know?
my theory, not so much driving, right? But when you go to a city
Yeah.
or a town, wherever, to walk it. Because
Yeah.
then you really get to see what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just driving through, but you got to plan for that and you got to take time.
Yeah.
You got to take the time.
Yeah. Oh, it was a serious amount of planning. Oh, yeah.
So now, you said we, girlfriend, wife,
Yeah,
sister,
wife, yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
just saying. Wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, how long you been married?
Oh, quite a while. Many years.
Did you want to hear that? Is she going to be cool hearing you say, oh, quite a while?
Oh, yeah.
So should I put you on the spot and how many years you been married?
2008. 2008 was
That's
it?
when I got married the first time, 2007.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, you've always been in Jersey?
Well, I was in this area, in Allentown area.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Jesus, there's my head.
Yeah,
So
I used
this is
to
part of
live
the
up here, but now I'm down around Philly area.
Okay, so
We had two houses. So my daughter's up here, her son's down there. So we had two houses, and like I was more staying up here a lot, and then she was coming up to visit, and we were back and forth a lot, you know. But now my daughter's older.
Yeah, but my brain, I'm still in New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I'm in Pennsylvania tonight recording
I
this.
gotcha.
Usually so that threw me off a little bit. But you've always been in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Now, when I met you, were you a chef or
Yeah, I'm a former executive chef.
Dude?
Yeah.
From like where?
Longwood Gardens. So it's the fifth largest Philadelphia tourist attraction, and I ran a kitchen with maybe 60 people, 35 cooks, 15 dishwashers, had a pastry chef, chef for the restaurant, chef for the cafe, and then I pretty much focused on catering. So it was three outlets.
Right. Now, was that in a? Explain what that place is.
Longwood Gardens is the second largest garden in the country, and it's the most visited, I believe, in the country, or maybe the second. But it has these Christmas lights shows in December, and that's what they're really famous for.
Oh, okay.
So people go there to see the Christmas lights. But at the same time, it's this massive garden with this atrium that's almost a quarter mile long inside. And it's just garden after garden. You just walk through all these, like, you know, pathways, and they have different plants from all over the world.
And then they have like a cafe or a restaurant in there?
Yeah, so they have both. So you can either go to the cafe or you can go to the fine dining restaurant. And what was really cool about the place is that they grew a lot of stuff there, which I would use, and then in turn it would sell into the restaurant and the cafe.
So the catering part was if businesses had like their
Longwood
meeting there or something like that you would have like an event there for the day and you would cater that event?
Right. Events that were a lot of times fundraisers for companies would come in, and they would, anywhere from, I've done up to 1,800 people to, smaller ones like 150 to small little dinners in the director's home, which was on property.
So the director lived on a house on the property?
Yeah.
Now, how the hell did you get into that?
I went to culinary school.
So you went, to be that, but that was like your goal. Like when somebody wants to be a fireman, you were going to be a chef.
I was going to be a chef. Actually, I mean, it's a little more interesting than that. I went to school to be a pilot first. So I almost got my associate's degree for, I guess what you call it, a single engine. So I got
like a little Cessna or something.
Yeah, you get that, and then you get the instrument rating, and then you get the commercial rating, and then you get flight instructor at a 2-year program, and then you graduate, and then you work your way up to the airlines, which takes like 10 years. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to go 10 years. This is just too much. And I was cooking in restaurants at the same time, trying to earn a few bucks.
Like an actress being a waitress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I decided, I really like this. And I went to culinary school. I gave it all up. 2 years of college.
Where culinary school? What college?
Johnson & Wales in Providence, Rhode Island.
No kidding, huh?
Yeah, that's like, they say it's like the second best one in the United States. And it was a good education. I mean, it had its flaws like every school, but I learned what I needed to learn. They gave me the basics, the pyramid, the foundation. and which I took to a catering facility in Newport, Rhode Island. So we catered all the big weddings on the mansions on, what do you call it, Bellevue Boulevard. Yeah, that's like a famous place where the Vanderbilts have their mansion. So I catered weddings in the Vanderbilt mansion in Rose Cliff. You know, they're all famous up there.
Ooh.
And that was like my first job at a culinary school. And it was a great experience because everything was homemade. Everything was made from scratch.
So, but the thing is, in culinary school, do they teach, obviously they teach you how to cook, right?
Yeah, the basics.
But do they teach you business sense as well? Like how to run, like,
so
obviously food cost and how to run an efficient and make money kitchen and all that kind of thing, right?
So they did trimesters. So you had 1 year, you had 3 trimesters. 2 of them were culinary based, and the last one was business. So you sat in a classroom.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you have to have both, right?
Menu planning, math, science. They had Yeah.
And then with the first place that you went, you used a private kitchen? Like these mansions would have like a private kitchen and you would cook everything from scratch for like a small party? Or would it be huge catering coming in?
It was off-premise catering. So we would prepare everything in a tiny little kitchen, and then we would pack it in such a way that we could transport it on the wedding day, and then heat everything up inside hot boxes. You ever see those where all the sheet pans fit inside?
Yeah.
We could cook in them with sterno, to heat the food back up.
Yeah,
that's how we did it. And then we also brought small ovens. We rented ovens, and then it's an art. It's an art, really. I mean, the off-premise catering, it's a skill. It's not like cooking in a restaurant. It's a totally different animal when you're the chef of a fine dining restaurant, where you have everything there.
Right handy. See, I say that about, and I know we're going to get into this. I say that about creating cinematographers, which you do.
Yeah.
Having a controlled environment like we're in, or having an uncontrolled environment like an event, and taking that event and making something great out of it. That's a skill, dude. That's an art, and that's a skill. Because you can't be like, okay, everybody stop, we're going to do that again. Unlike in a controlled environment. Okay, do it, take 2, take 3, take 4, whatever. Right? But we'll get back to that. That just reminded me of, I know we'll talk about that. Because you're getting into that. And then how did you get to the gardens?
Well, I came back to New Jersey, where I was from. I was born and raised in Flemington, New Jersey. Okay. Came back to live for a little while. Got a job with the Hyatt Regency in Princeton.
Yep.
It's a really nice hotel, and the chef there did things at a very high level. And when I started there, I just thought that was normal. But when I got out in the world after that, I realized this was not normal. This guy was out of control. This guy was doing things that, were magazine worthy. But I just thought that was normal.
Yeah.
So I got
Talk about setting an expectation, huh?
Right. So I just kind of worked, I worked on everything. I worked on everything from pastry cakes. I worked in the restaurant. I did breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I did catering, and I did garde-manger, which is the cold food kitchen. And
no, wait a minute. Garde-manger, cold food kitchen would be?
Garde-manger in a professional big hotel restaurant kitchen is ice carvings, food displays, anything cold that comes from the kitchen, the salads, the fruit.
You make them all look pretty before they go out.
Yeah, exactly. Like really nice displays. I spent a lot of time in garde-manger. And I left there after 5 years and became the garde-manger chef at the largest hotel outside Atlantic City. That is, you probably pass it all the time. It's on the Turnpike, exit 9, the Hilton there.
Yeah, when I'm going to Atlantic City, I'm just thinking about going play cards, so I don't look around.
But that Hilton there has a huge banquet facility. So we used to do, we even cooked for George Bush, when he came through.
That's cool.
And it was like 1,000, 1,200 people, and it's like it's not fun. You know what I mean? That's why I got burned out. I mean, when you got to make salads for 1,200, and everyone's the same. The creativity and the fun of it gets ripped out.
No, absolutely. And that's every chef that I've ever talked to says it's just you burn out quick. It's a lot of work, long hours. And
that's why I'm here, not doing it anymore, talking to you.
No, but I was like, man, I thought when I first met you, you were a chef, and then what got you into shooting film and all that? Because you bailed on the chef like super quick
Well,
and put all your eggs in one basket, right? Do I remember that right?
yeah. So it went like this. You asked me, I got to back up a little bit because you asked me how I got to Longwood Gardens. So I went from the Hyatt Regency to a country club in New Hope, Pennsylvania. And then I was there for 5 years. And then the chef left, I think 3 years into it. I became the executive chef, my first executive chef job. And I want to say that was probably 2005. So from 2005 to 2007, I was the executive chef there. And then I got moved to Winterthur, which is the other DuPont estate.
Okay.
Those are both DuPont estates. So you know the DuPont family that
Like the paint?
Right. Well, there were two brothers that started
Just a small company
in the 20s or the early 1900s. They're one of the richest families in the world.
Yeah.
And they started, I think gunpowder was their big thing. But anyway, they have two estates. They're 10 minutes from each other. So I was the executive chef at this huge 168-room mansion. It's called Winterthur Museum.
Okay. And where is that? Pennsylvania?
In Wilmington, Delaware.
Okay.
And then I was there for 3 years, and then that was for the company Restaurant Associates. And the way I got that job from Restaurant Associates is that food and beverage director from the Hyatt, when I worked at the Hyatt, recommended me from years ago.
Wow.
So I got in, and it's a hard company to get into. They only pick a select quality of chef.
Sure.
And after 3 years, I helped retain the contract, and they signed on for another 10 years. So I dealt a lot with the CEO of my company. He came down a lot to try to nurture that account.
Sure.
So we won it over for the next 10 years, and they said, let's promote this guy to Longwood Gardens, because the Longwood Gardens chef left. And then I was there for 5 years. And I would say that the last year that I was at Longwood Gardens, I was really kind of checked out. I had discovered a GoPro.
Oh, how
now we're getting back to the film.
Yeah,
you see how I'm trying to come full circle here?
No, I was wondering how you got from chef to film. So what was the GoPro? Like, you just was in a camera shop and you saw it and you're like, wonder what this does?
Almost. I was on YouTube. Oh,
you went down that rabbit hole, huh?
Oh, yeah. I have a quad. And I love to go out riding quads. I got some friends, and we go to West Virginia, Hatfield McCoy. We go up Pennsylvania. There's all kinds of places, and it is so much fun.
I grew up riding four-wheelers.
Yeah.
Love them.
And then I was just kind of riding one day. I'm thinking, man, I wish I could mount my phone onto the front of this thing somehow.
Yeah.
That time, it was the GoPro Hero 3 was out.
I remember those.
Yeah, so like I didn't even hear about a GoPro. And I'm like a technology geek, so I can't believe it passed me by. So I came across this video of this guy on his ATV. He went out with his girlfriend and his friends, and he made this little adventure about his day with a GoPro. And the way he shot like certain angles, and the way he took everything from like the way there, just the tire of the car, and he took all these detail shots.
Yeah.
It just blew me away. I'm like, wait a second. Now technology, we can just take a little camera with us and
make
document our day and document stuff like that. And it had really cool music, and like just the way he filmed it and played with the camera. I was like, I want to do that. And
now, did you have interest in editing or experience with editing software?
None whatsoever. So I bought the GoPro literally a week later after I saw that video.
Hero 3?
Hero 3. As a matter of fact, probably about a mile down the road from here, there was a motorcycle shop that I stepped into.
Oh God, did I just pass it?
Yeah,
get off the
Cycle Shore or something like it's called Cycle something, Cycle Center. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So I was in there, and they had a GoPro display, and I was like watching these videos. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get this thing. Literally went in there like a week later, and I bought it. And then I started putting it on my quad, and I started telling stories of like, my quad adventures. And then very shortly after, it was like 5 families. We all went down to North Carolina for the Outer Banks.
Yep.
And I kind of documented the whole thing.
On a GoPro.
On a GoPro. That's right. I mounted it on my Jeep, and just everything that happened. And then I didn't know anything about editing, right? So like I went to Best Buy of all places, right?
Damn,
I went to Best Buy, and
that's called the Amazon showroom.
Yeah, I know. And I found this editing software called Pinnacle, and it was just real cheesy effects, and it had a timeline that you could pull everything down and put it together and stuff. But it had these like real cheesy transitions. And when you first start, you think those are cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like
of
the
course.
star fade and then, you know, like stuff, you know. So
Now you're like, hey, somebody in 10th grade uses that.
yeah, right. But anyway, I thought my edit, and people thought my edit, that came out pretty good, you know, from the vacation. And I'm thinking I might have something here, you know. And I just got deeper into it, and I found out that most professionals use Adobe Premiere. So I got I bought Adobe. They didn't have the subscription back then, so you had to buy it. It was like $700.
Right.
So I bought that, and I was off to the races. I started just documenting everything. I needed stuff to edit. I wanted to edit so bad that I literally know this guy that used to ride his snowmobile all over and take GoPro footage, but he didn't do anything with it. So I said, "Yo, man, give me your GoPro footage.
I'll make some videos.
I'm going to make some
you.
video for you."
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? So that's how desperate I was just to edit. I just wanted to edit. You know, I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the GoPro eventually turned into drones. And
I was going to say, you brought this one drone that had like 8 blades on it back in the day, and it would actually wouldn't it carry a regular
It would
size
carry
camera?
a Panasonic GH3, which would be my first professional camera. And it had an arm that was perfectly balanced for the GH3. So that's what we used when we went out on that job. And, you know, that was my first way to make money, you know, in the business. I was I got this, you know, $10,000 drone. And which, by the way, you know, to be honest, you know, mortgaged some of my 401k plan to buy that. You know what I mean? Like I just paid like an arm and a leg just so that I could have something to get going. You know?
Right. But the thing is, what surprised me when I heard that you just bailed on your chef job with
we're not there yet. Well,
okay.
We're not there yet.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
But I was working. I mean, so when I had this drone, I still was working as a chef. You know,
yeah, I remember.
I was still doing jobs, you know, here and there on the side. I knew these guys that worked for a marketing company down the Jersey Shore. They did mom and pop marketing, you know, for the Jersey Shore, and they gave me some jobs and doing drone work. You know, so that's kind of how I got started. And it's funny, like I didn't even know how to use a professional camera. I didn't know what aperture, shutter speed. You know what I mean? And here I am, like I'm ready to leave my job. I don't even know how to use a professional camera. I was out of my mind.
No, good for you.
You know,
take a leap like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
I believe in. I'm not one to fall for analysis paralysis.
Sure.
I don't sit there and go, okay, it's got to be right. I got to do this. Then the timing will be right. No, fuck that, man. Just jump in and do it.
Yeah.
You know.
So a little bit about the transition. When I was at Winterthur, the other DuPont estate that I was there for 3 years, the director there left to start her own wedding planning. Right.
Okay.
So I said, hey, you know, I need to get some weddings under my belt so I can get some work, you know, to leave my job and stuff. And she got me a few of her weddings. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's how I got in. I did my first wedding. It was 2 females, and I did it for free. They liked my highlights edited enough to say, hey, we'll pay you for a longer piece. So I did a longer piece, and then it was off to the races from there. I mean, then the next wedding, I was charging real money, like what people normally get.
Yeah, like right away. So you started getting paid for weddings right away. You didn't do a
second
lot of
second wedding.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
And then like I really studied wedding films too. Like, you know, I just wanted to be better. All I did was like watch wedding films and ask a lot of questions and watch YouTube videos and then, you know, work the generic brand human, you know. I did a couple of weddings. You know, Ashley was kind enough, your former boss, to you know, let me shoot on some weddings. I think I did my first one for free too, and then she paid me after the first one.
Yeah, sure. And then we did a lot of weddings together.
Yeah.
And now what are you doing now?
So the business is about split 50-50. I mean, when I started doing weddings, I also was doing the corporate stuff too with the drone. So it's always been that, you know, whereas a lot of wedding filmmakers, they just do weddings and they're cutting themselves off from a whole huge piece of business.
For sure. Well, the thing is, though, I saw the transition in the wedding business to where there used to, when we first started doing weddings, you know, when I hooked up with Ash, there was a season for that, a wedding season.
Yeah.
That's not true anymore. Weddings are 12 months of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely a booming industry.
Yeah, and I don't know if blame is the right word, but I blame the wedding halls for that.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, our wedding hall's sitting empty from January and February. Why don't we give somebody a killer deal? And they come in, and that happened for a couple years. And now they charge. Now it's a premium to have a wedding, winter wedding.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, right? But
Yeah. I've had plenty of January, February,
Yeah,
December
yeah.
weddings. December, actually, I think I shot 7 weddings in December. Yeah.
now, have you gotten to the point where the same family? Have you done that yet?
Yeah. So I'm getting referrals.
No,
from-
well, you shoot like the sister and then the sister and then.
No, I haven't done sister, but I've done bridesmaid. You know,
Okay, cool. Yeah,
A lot.
Pretty close to the same. Yeah,
a lot.
that's awesome.
So I have a new format. So for weddings, I'm only shooting 10 a year tops, where I edit them. I can give an outstanding level of customer service. Where I freelance, I think I did 75, 80 weddings last year,
Sure.
and only like 13 of them were mine. So this year I'm cutting back even more, obviously.
Well, yeah. What's going on?
Yeah,
There's not going to be as many.
There's not going to be as many this year as there, you know. So, yeah, but next year I'm fully booked almost.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Now, as some of those.
As much as I want to be. I mean, I can take on more work if I
Yeah,
want.
but that's cool that you said, okay, I'm going to do this many.
Yeah.
And this is the level that these many are going to be.
Yeah.
You know, that's the level of work that it's going to be at.
So I already have my 10 next year, and then 45 freelance.
Oh, nice.
And plus, I'm working with the same company that I was an executive chef for. So I'm doing lots of video work for them. Right now, we're doing a lot of safety videos.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I can see that.
And then, you know, we were doing women in culinary. So there was a big push. It's on hold for a little bit, but it's going to come back. And so we did the New York Times chef. We did that, and we did a little piece. And it was,
Oh, okay.
they're going to feature one a month. You know, so like,
Oh, that's cool.
Like, this is the chef of the month, and then it goes out to all the units, and they have a special recipe and all that kind of stuff.
No, and they're going to focus on women being chefs, and once a month
that's
they're going
this
to put
year.
out a.
That's
Oh,
this
that's
year.
That's really cool.
Yeah, women in
pretty neat.
culinary. It's a big
Cool.
program.
Okay.
So they asked me to do 12 chefs.
Damn, nice,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So that and your weddings, you're good.
Yeah, and then the safety videos with them too, and then see Compass Group is the name of the company.
I know, yeah,
and
I'm familiar
and
with Compass.
They, you know, so I worked for Restaurant Associates, which is one of 11 divisions of food. So I'm starting to work in the other sectors. Think about the endless possibilities that is. So, you know, you have. You do a good job for Restaurant Associates, they're going to refer you to the other sectors.
Absolutely.
It's all within the same
Yeah,
company.
of course. I mean,
You know,
that's
so it
101, business 101 at that point.
Yeah. So literally, I could spend my whole career just within this company and really have enough work.
Yeah, but riches are in the niches, right? Stick in that niche and
Right. You want to diversify.
yeah. But the question I have is with the weddings and the business shit, how you traveling all the fucking time,
Good question.
dude? What's up with all the travel? Now, how'd you come about that? Like, is that a? Did you
well-
say your wife and you say, all right, here's a bucket list, and we're going to hit all these places, or it just cascaded from nowhere? Like,
Well,
how did that come
it
about?
started like I always wanted to go to California. So it started in 2017. When I was a chef, I would say from 2002 to 2013, I did not take one vacation. 11 years.
Through the culinary.
Because I was beat up so bad from the culinary world.
Yeah.
I went 11 years without a vacation. And when I did get vacation time, I was so exhausted that I couldn't do anything.
Yep.
So now that I have my own business, it opened up a whole world of time and opportunity, you know? So if I had a week where I didn't have a job, that's where I scheduled my vacation.
Oh, okay.
But some of the travel, you know, I know you saw me in some traveling last year. Some of the travel was for Compass Group.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then you tack on some days before or after. Like the job was on
Sure.
a Thursday, you'd stay the long weekend and do a little travel.
Sometimes it wasn't allowed. So I started working for sustainability projects. So they sent me to Iceland to document the second largest exporter of fish. So they order, the Gotham Seafood, which is in New York City, is a vendor of the Compass Group.
Okay.
So all the Compass Groups, they'll order from Gotham Seafood. Gotham purchases from this guy in Iceland.
Oh, okay.
So
So
they
you
sent me
wanted to follow it back.
Yeah, they wanted to send me to Iceland. I mean, this was crazy. I was out on the boat in the middle of the ocean, documenting this fishing expedition of how they catch the cod and the haddock, and everything from processing. It was a whole week. I was there a whole week. I brought one guy with me. He was more of a drone operator.
Right.
And he helped me with the second camera shots and lighting and all that kind of stuff like that. And we put together a really nice 5-minute piece for the company, and then cut it into smaller pieces so that they can promote that product.
Sure.
And then we also did the same thing in Mexico. So a few months later, they sent me to Mexico.
We lost some light.
Yeah. Maybe it's just a
There it is. Motion.
Yeah.
Now, going back to Iceland, though, did you spend some time there, or because you had somebody with you, you just came right back?
Well, it was on their dime. So I think we talked them into one more day, but that was it. But it was on their dime. It was on their dime.
Did you get to venture around at night or do anything when you weren't shooting?
Good question. They actually had this guy. He was a professional tour guide for the world. So he took tour groups for photography around the world. Patagonia, exotic places of the world, like
specifically for photographers.
For photographers.
Okay.
So, let's say you're a doctor and then you have a lot of money and you just dabble in photography. They have enough money to
So they hire a guy like this
to take them around to all the spots, so they can get a cool picture and they can put it on Instagram and say, hey,
hey, look what I did.
Yeah, right.
Well, it works, Meg. Hey, good for the guy that does the traveling.
Exactly.
Good for him.
So he took us all around Iceland. So the guy that runs the fish company hired who were their friends, and he hired him to take us all around the island. So and it was a 5-hour trip to the north of Iceland where the fish are. So we went from Reykjavik all the way up to the north of Iceland, and that's why you see that picture on the cover of the video of the Northern Lights. When we were on our way up to I think we had to get there at midnight in the north of Iceland. We looked up in the sky and we saw the Northern Lights while we were driving.
How cool
got
is
out
that?
Got out the not totally unexpected. I didn't expect to see the Northern Lights. It wasn't really in season. It starts in September, and we were there in September, and it's not real strong. So we just got lucky. I got out and got the pictures of the Northern Lights, and it was just a great experience. I want to go back there for vacation for real. So.
Yeah, and actually spend some time there and look around.
I think I do want to go back, though, to where all the travel started, though. That's where we can go. It all started in 2017, which is kind of my... I took a couple of trips to the Outer Banks, North Carolina, like I told you about, where we did things. I know this doesn't count as...
No, it doesn't count as travel.
Count as travel or travel abroad, right? So the first one was I went to California, and I always wanted to see the redwoods. And so 2017, I feel like, was my first real vacation. And we just rented a car, and we started in San Francisco, and then we drove all the way up north, all the way up to almost to the Oregon coast, and we stopped at, different redwoods, and we saw San Francisco, the wine country.
Did you go to Alcatraz?
No, I wanted to.
Dude.
We just didn't have enough time.
Dude, that is crazy cool.
Yeah.
If you get a chance to go to Alcatraz, you gotta.
Yeah, I want to go back there.
It's so neat. But my wife and I, her dad lives in San Francisco, and the rest of her family lives down in San Diego. So for many years, what we would do is fly out to San Francisco, see her dad, and figure out a cool way to go down the PCH. So I've taken motorcycles, convertibles, all sorts of stuff down the PCH.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Would love to do that.
Oh, you got to go down, though.
Yeah.
Coming up, you're on the inside.
Yeah.
And then either early in the year or later in the year. It might be a little colder, but there's no traffic. If you're going there in like June, it's a double road, it's a single lane. Yeah. So now you're stuck behind everybody and you're just putting along. No, dude, that takes away from it,
Yeah.
But what am I talking about? I've never seen the
northern?
No, the redwood trees.
Oh, really?
No, they'd be cool though.
They're just so massive. I've got a picture on my Instagram, and I'm like just this tiny ant next to this.
You look up and
huge
you're
tree.
like, holy,
it's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. Just walking through. You know what surprised me most about walking through the redwoods is that not one sound.
Really?
There was nothing. You could hear a pin drop. I didn't hear a bird. I didn't hear nothing. It was just
Why is
complete
that?
dead silence. I don't know. Maybe it was the location I was at, but it was called, I think, Tall Trees was the place. It was up in the northern redwoods. And just, a really majestic, cool place to walk
Yeah,
through,
yeah,
you know?
for sure. Did you have one of them where you can drive your car through?
No, we didn't. That was Avenue of the Giants. I think that's part of it. It could be. But we drove a little bit on Avenue of the Giants. It's just kind of like a road that has, some of the biggest redwoods.
Right.
But yeah, we went all the way up to Fern Canyon, which is where they filmed Jurassic Park 2. And it's this huge canyon. And you roll in and, you just got streams and water and ferns all the way up and down this canyon. It's about a half mile wide, a half mile long. And it's just a really skinny, tight canyon to walk through and a little bit of stream. You got to climb over some trees and some rocks and stuff. It's like a cool little adventure. When we pulled up, there was an elk literally sitting right in front of our car when we pulled up. And I thought it was a statue. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't moving. So I got
look at that cool decoration.
So like I got out and I got up and I started taking pictures and then the thing moved. I was like, not much further from me to you, and I've heard they can be violent,
Yeah.
I didn't know that, so that kind of freaked me out a little bit. But anyway, we made our way. It's like like a half mile hike up into the canyon. And it was just a cool little place that, I wanted to see because, they a lot of talk about it.
Yeah. And what took you to then? Well, I'm sorry. Where did you go next?
Yosemite.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. You been to
That
Yellowstone?
No.
That's cool too.
No, but Yosemite blew me away.
Oh.
Like when you go in that first,
Doesn't look real.
no, it's like a magical world, man. It's like
Yep.
it's unbelievable.
I rode my motorcycle. My buddy and I went from Colorado up to Yellowstone, and when you're riding through there, it's like you're on another planet.
Yeah,
And then you come back. Then you come outside where the Tetons are.
yeah,
And you don't even, it's weird how it works.
Mm-hmm.
You're riding and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. You come around a corner, boom, fucking Tetons are right there. You're like, you think you would see them as you approach, but you don't. And they look fake. They don't look real when you're riding next to them.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Yosemite's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's beautiful.
yeah. So we we only spent 2 days there, and then like you can't really get inside that camp. There's like the Camp 4 they call it. There's like a year waiting list to stay inside and camp inside. It's a year. Now it's a lottery. Well, when we went in 2017, it was like you put your name on a waiting list, you wait a year. Now it's like a lottery. So you can't even get in
Holy
there.
man.
So there's like, I think 15, 20 miles away, there's a few camps that you park and then you just sleep in your car.
So what do you have? Did you have something you're driving that you own, or did you rent something?
We rented an SUV.
Oh, and then you just slept in that?
Slept in that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was really freaked out, though, because they got the bear signs everywhere.
Yeah.
And you got to put all your food in the bear boxes. And I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. My wife, I'm like, you've got candy wrappers down there. Because they tell you, if you got wrappers in the car, that's enough for the bear to smell a mile away.
Yeah. Oh. So you think they're after your Hershey bar? Or what?
I don't know. It scared me to death. So I was like kind of scared to go outside
at night.
Yeah, at night.
Yeah.
For sure.
I always thought with that, you're cooking at night, right? So say you cook a steak and that smoke gets on you.
Yeah.
Now you're in your tent and you smell like a steak. I always thought that too, but I never ran into. I've been in the woods a lot, and I've never ran into any issue with a bear.
Well, they say the grizzlies, they're not afraid of people anymore. So they kind of, they'll stand up to you.
Yeah. You can't scare them away.
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult than around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Then where'd you go? So this was all in how? What's the time frame we're looking at?
So this was 2017.
Okay, so in 1 year you
Yep.
went to California, then you went to Yosemite.
All in the same time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
That was one trip?
that was one trip.
Okay.
That was a week. Yeah.
Okay.
And then 2018 went to Italy.
Now, what'd you pick Italy for?
Just had a fascination with Italy. Like everyone talks about how amazing it is, the coast, and
Yeah,
and
for
then I
sure.
started to study it, and I was like, I want to see these places of the world, and it's before I talk about Italy, I just want to say that, like, I like seeing different places of the world on TV, or people talking about them, and I know what it's like to be there. I know what it smells like there. I know what the food tastes like there. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
That's a really cool thing to me. That's kind of addicting.
So watching it on the Travel Channel,
Yeah.
and you're like, I've been there. I know what that coast smells like. I know what that. Yep. And I've said it before, and I think you ever see Good Will Hunting?
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah.
Remember the scene, and I think it's Robin Williams and Matt Damon. They're on a park bench. I think they're like next to a lake.
Okay.
And Matt Damon's like super intelligent and all that, right?
Yeah.
And Robin Williams just went through something grieving, right? I think he lost his his wife and all that. And he got talking, and I think Matt Damon was trying to console him, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I've read that this is beautiful and this smells like this. And Robin Williams went off on him. And he's like, you can read that in a book. You can look at that on a picture. But you never had a woman hold your hand while walking on a beach, or you're standing here and she comes up behind you and hugs you, and the same thing, the experience. Yeah, sure, it's great to read and look at. Cool to see the pictures on Instagram, but physically being there and feeling it, you can't replace that. You got to soak it in. Absolutely.
So, we did Italy big. We flew into Venice, and what a wild place.
Venice?
Unlike anywhere else. Have you been there?
No.
Unlike anywhere else in, any other city, people will tell you that.
Just like, what do you mean though? Like crazy?
Just the way it's a city floating on water.
Yeah.
It's just all these waterways and skinny pathways to walk down and get lost. I mean, it's small. It's it's like a mile and a half wide or something like that. But there's just so many pathways, and there's so much to see.
Now, were the locals and everything, everybody nice and treat you well?
Everybody's really nice.
Yeah.
Never had no issues at all. The food is. I don't know that you get caught in these tourist traps, so you don't know where the real food is.
Right.
But the food was really quite decent, and
coming from a chef.
Yeah, coming from a chef, it was good. Ate a lot of pizza. I'm obsessed with pizza.
I love pizza. Yeah,
one of my favorite foods. But we made our way around and for a day and a half, and then we rented a car.
Did you have a plan in that day and a half? I mean, you just
I film stuff. Like, I don't stop working. I'm filming.
How's your wife feel about that? She cool?
She's cool with it. I gave her a camera so she can take pictures. Here
you go, baby. I'll see you at the end of the trip, right? Yeah. Just keep snapping away.
So, I'm serious about it, too. Like, I've got a Steadicam in my backpack, and I've got, different lenses. I carry a couple of lenses with me, and I want to capture it. I capture it because I want to remember it. I spent a lot of money for that. I want to bring that home with me.
Yeah, there's that. I can't disagree with you on that, right? Yeah. I like to see it on film, and especially you're going to put it together. So it's not just like flipping through a photo album like back in the day.
Right.
You're going to create like a little 10-minute movie out of it, and there's going to be
maybe 2 minutes. But
well, but you know what I mean. You're gonna make something out of it where there's emotion in it too. It. It's just not holding up your phone and going, yeah, look, hey, we saw this. Wait a minute. We saw this. It's going to be different.
I like filming like things that you see there, like the people in the street like playing the music and stuff like that, and capturing that music.
Yeah, for sure.
And their emotion, and just like I remember this little kid was just kind of feeding the pigeons, and stuff like that. It's like it's real life. It's what it really is like in Venice, and capturing it. So
not what the Travel Channel shows you.
Not with the travel, yeah, exactly. It's cheap. So we left. It was a day and a half there, and then we got in a car and rented a car, and made our way to Cinque Terre. Mm-hmm. You know Cinque Terre?
Mm-hmm. Well, I know of it.
Yeah. These 5 little towns on the water, and they're just like, we went in October, so it wasn't busy. It was the very last week of their summer. Their summer weeks ends mid-October in Italy. So we went that last week,
Now, did you research it that way, or did you just happen to be that?
Kind of got lucky. I didn't know it was the last one, and I like taking vacations in October because the weather's just right for me.
Sure. A little cooler.
Yeah. So, but it was warm in Italy, especially when you get south. It was 78, not 80 degrees some days. But anyway, it was a good time to go because there wasn't that many people, and we went to all the towns of Cinque Terre, and I read about how crowded it gets in there. And we were at the first town we went to was Ria Maggiore, and it was just a handful of people there. You gotta love it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Just to not too crowded, but to give it a little life, right?
Exactly. That's what it was like. All 5 towns were.
Oh,
and you could
beautiful.
take this train to the next town and the next town and the next town, and they're only like a mile apart, or you can hike them.
Oh, did you do a combination of? Or?
No, they had the pass closed for some rock falling, so we didn't do the boat. So we just did the train, but it was nice.
Yeah.
And so we spent 2 days there.
Whew.
Yeah, got
Just
to see
relaxing, right?
Yeah.
Like the phrase that I use is moving in second gear. You're moving along, but you're not rushing. Okay, we got to be here at 11. We got to be here at 1. We got to be here at 4. You weren't doing that. You were just
not a plan, really. We knew we wanted to see all 5 towns.
Sure.
I don't think we saw all 5 towns in the first day. I think it took us, into the second day to really enjoy them all. But,
now, did you have a place to stay planned, or you were just like, we're going to find something on the road?
Yeah, we had hotels along the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were at a hotel like a mile down the road, and they have a shuttle service.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
Cinque Terre has a shuttle service. It just kind of goes up and down. So if you don't want to take the train, you can take the shuttle too.
Sure.
So,
Nice.
So we did that, and I think that was one of my favorite parts of Italy, because they're just like these small little teeny tiny towns built into a mountain. On the
Right out of a storybook, right?
Right out of there's pictures everywhere. You see Ria Maggiore, you see Manarola, Corniglia, Vernazza.
Is it one of those towns where people see the picture all the time, but they don't recognize what it is, right?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
like, "Ooh, that's a pretty picture."
Like when you turn on your TV and Google plays the different things. Yeah, that's definitely, I see Manarola come up all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anyway, I
dude.
became obsessed with that sign. I think one of the reasons I wanted to go is because I saw that picture on my TV of Manarola, and I thought to myself, that place
Gotta go
is
there,
cool.
gotta go there.
So that brought it in, Yeah, and then we were moving. We had a lot of stuff to see, so we went to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Then we were off to, same day, we went into Cortona, which is where they filmed Under the Tuscan Sun. It was a little place.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Cool little town with they've got these walls that go all the way around on the top of a mountain. You know what I mean? You'll see these walls that go all the way around. They hold the town in. It's pretty wild. And then we made our way off to Rome, in the same day. Funny story, we had to have the car back, the rental car in Rome. We had to drop it off at 7. And
A.M., P.M.?
P.M.
Okay.
And we really pushed our limit that day. We went to Pisa, and then we went to Cortona, and we had to make it to Rome by 7, And literally pulled into the parking lot at 6:55. Stressing, thinking, now I'm going to be stuck with this car.
Of course.
Overnight.
Oh,
because it ain't like around here where you can drop your car off at any time, put the keys in, and it wasn't.
If they're closed, you got to come back tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the way it was.
Huh?
So I just went to Rome, and
that's on my bucket list. Rome.
Yeah.
I want to see the Colosseum. Yeah, see the major sites.
Yeah, that's what we did. So we went to see the Colosseum. We paid for a tour, and a tour guide takes you in. That's the only way to do it, because you bypass the line. Otherwise, you're just waiting for hours outside to get in.
Oh, that's a good little piece of advice. I would have waited in line probably.
So I think it was $30 each.
Nah,
$60.
Yeah, let's go, man.
To not wait in line.
Here's my money. Let's go.
Yeah, so we went in line, and you get these little headsets, and then the tour guide speaks to you through the headset. And, you got to stick with the tour guide, but, I'm still taking pictures and video and just moving around, and just to be in that place is pretty wild.
Is it pretty cool?
Yeah.
Did they mention anything about the theories of how it was built? Because they still don't know how it was built.
Yeah, they don't know how it was built. What they talked a lot about was the viciousness of the Romans and what they did in there.
Oh, I can't even. Well, with TV, you can imagine, right?
They used to starve wild animals. They'd go to Africa and they'd pick up all the animals.
Right.
And then they would starve them and then just have them fight to the death.
So each animal, like the thing is,
mixed animals. You know what I mean?
Right, but they would have they would starve like tigers and lions.
Yeah.
And then they'd put them in the arena with men. And they
did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, the tiger's like, I'm fucking hungry, dude. Coming after you.
Yeah.
Oh,
brutal.
brutal. They didn't care.
Yeah.
What the hell? They
It
were
was,
Romans.
it was entertainment for them.
Yeah.
And they talked about how they, they kept the Romans with just enough to keep them dependent upon them and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, you can get deep into that conversation, huh?
yeah.
Now, did they talk about? I saw one article that fascinated me where they filled it with water and had boats in there.
Oh, really? No, I never heard of that.
Yeah, that was pretty fascinating. I'm like, I don't know if that's all. It was a theory.
There's no more floor. So when you go in there, the floor is just gone.
So you see
in the chambers.
You see the oh, that's
down
cool.
below.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it like when you walk in? Is it just so massive? You just
Yeah, it's pretty I mean, it's no bigger than a football stadium, It's
okay. Oh, that's a good way to
maybe
put it.
even maybe a little bit smaller.
Yeah, but still, how the hell they build that?
I don't know.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, aliens.
yeah,
Right?
And but yeah, could be. You never know.
Yeah.
But then just that whole area, if you do visit, you want to see the Capitol. That's that building you see with all the steps, and there's like those gargoyle kind of
Yep,
things
yep,
with
for
wings
sure,
on there.
sure.
And there's a little circle right there, and like we had a little Italian restaurant across from the circle, and you sit there and you're outside, and I'm like in this alleyway, and as you're looking through the alleyway, you could see those birds on the steps.
Oh, that would be cool.
And it was just like a cool little place to sit and and have a meal.
How many pictures of that did you get?
Just a couple. Just a long.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we headed down to Positano. You can't drive to Positano because you could, but there'd be nowhere to park and there's skinny roads. So what you got to do is hire a transfer. The taxis in Europe they call it the transfer.
Transfer?
You get a transfer.
So it's not like a bus where you all pile on.
No, we got a limo. It was like it wasn't. It was $100 each way, plus tip.
When you're in a country and when you're traveling in a country like that, $100 just spend it.
So you take a train down to Naples, right?
Okay.
And then from Naples, the driver meets you right outside your train, and then he's got the sign with your name.
Feeling like a celebrity.
Yeah. And you get in the car, and then they take care of you until all the way you get to Positano. And then when you get to Positano is a crazy place because there's only one-way street that goes through it. So if you go in, the only way to come out, you have to drive through the entire place,
Oh, no shit,
Yeah,
huh?
so he was real scared he was going to miss our hotel. You park
so like if he missed your hotel.
Yeah, we had to go all the way around. So he was kind of worried about
crazy.
that.
Yeah.
So, but he calls ahead to the hotel, and there's all these crazy amounts of elevators and steps to get, our hotel was down at the beach. So, So these bellmen have to come all the way up these elevators and these series of steps to where the taxi driver can park, and then they take your luggage and then they take it from you, and then they go down all the series.
So they got to
of steps
time it like the taxi guy calls, right?
Yeah.
And says, I'm going to be there in 5 minutes, and they run out.
Yeah.
Well, he parks and ended it, and then he goes on his way.
Yeah, and then it was a little bit confusing too, because there was a series of different elevators that you had to get in and steps and gates to go through. It was like it's crazy, real old world stuff.
Yeah.
But just looking at it, just being there. I mean, Positano wasn't that exciting. I mean, it's got shops and restaurants like anywhere else, and it looks cool.
That's about it, huh?
Yeah, and I mean, it's got a rocky beach, and you take the ferry to Capri, which is like 30 minutes, and that's a cool little island where when you go to Capri, the town is at the top of the mountain. The only way to get there is by cable car.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
And what's up at the town? Is it?
I mean, it's really high end markets, like Ralph Lauren and jewelry shops and just the highest end of the highest end brands.
So the point of going there is the journey, really.
The journey,
like the ferry and the cable cars.
But there's a lot of very wealthy people there because it's all high end brand stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Gucci and all stuff like that.
Yeah. So putting them all at the top of the hill, right? A high end mall, Fifth Avenue at the top of the hill.
It's those kind of stores like, I'm not going to walk into a Gucci store. You know what I mean? Like, Yeah.
My,
Yeah.
my dad has a phrase for stores like that.
They're going to look at you like, what the hell are you doing in here?
No, man, the service is around the back, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Deliveries are around the back.
Yeah.
No, my dad has a saying about stores like that.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, they're
just
pretty
not-
barren.
Yeah, there's just nothing in there for me. My type.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
You know, I'm not going to find anything in there. But that's just, obviously it works for them because they're paying for it. You know.
But it's cool to see. We did two things while we were there. We took a taxi to the other side. There's like one small beach on the other side of the island, and there's these three famous rocks off the side. You
Okay.
know, it was like in a little beach. So we went there, got some pictures, and the taxi driver, he took us back, and then we rented a boat where a driver takes us around into the Blue Hole. So Capri's famous for the Blue Hole. It's like this little cave that you go in, and it's real blue inside and stuff like
Okay.
that. So we did that, and then we made it back to Positano, and then back to Rome the next day. You know, and one day, and then flew out of Rome. So
And
big
then-
journey.
Yeah, that's a lot going on in a week.
Yeah. Oh well, 10 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Rome though, that's got to be so cool.
It is cool. So one of my favorite parts of Rome was the last night we were there. We had dinner in that area by the Colosseum, and we were going to take a taxi home. And I said, "No, let's walk it." You know, it was like 1.2 miles back to the hotel.
That's no big deal.
Yeah.
What's one?
No, it's not much, but we ended up just kind of navigating our way through these skinny alleyways and stuff like that. It's, you know, the GPS took us through all these cool little places, and then
Right.
we ended up passing the Trevanni Fountain, you know, which is famous. It's a
Yeah,
famous
yeah.
place, that fountain. And I didn't even know we were going to pass it. You know what I mean? I just come up on it, and I'm like, I recognized it. I'm like, whoa,
I've seen
this
a
is
picture.
what that is. You
Hey,
know?
this is on my screensaver on my Google. I know
Yeah.
what this looks like.
Totally, right? And just walking through these little narrow pathways and, you know, just cobblestone streets, and,
That's
you know,
cool.
you're in Rome, you know, it's you know.
The history, just the history
Yeah.
alone, you can't even comprehend
Yeah.
what has gone on in those streets over the last
Yeah.
how many centuries, you know?
But I would have liked to see more, but there wasn't enough time.
You think you'll go back or you'll go somewhere else?
I'll definitely go back to Italy, but I think once I see a place, okay, I'm good. I'm going to move on.
I'm the same way.
You know?
Same way. Yep. My wife and I, we took part of our honeymoon from Southampton, England to New York. We took the Queen Mary 2,
Oh, okay.
the cruise ship. Never been on a cruise before, and we decided that our honeymoon was like 3 weeks long. And the first couple weeks was seeing people. We know people all over the world, so we were traveling all over the place, visiting. Sure, we had our time. You know, we had some downtime. But we planned it that week across the ocean. That's just her and I, you know, and all the old people. But and when the cruise director was like, how was everything? Oh, it's beautiful. Food was amazing. It was just an awesome experience.
How many people on the boat?
It was like 2,800.
Okay.
5,500 was their capacity, but we went in October, which is not the cruising.
Cold outside.
It's cold outside. You didn't spend much time on the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she asked, you know, how was everything? Beautiful. Everything was amazing. All's good. You coming back? Nope. She kind of looked at us. Seen it, done it. It was amazing. The world's a big place. I'm going somewhere else. Next time I have a week, going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's our attitude, you know.
Yeah, same here. You know, we want to do Switzerland. You know, we had it planned.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah. We got a bunch of people we know in Switzerland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never been.
So-
I just, you know, I want to go up those mountains and just go hiking.
Same thing, man. It's the same thing. I see those pictures. I'm like, that's Switzerland. I want to go there.
Yeah.
You know. And then what? When did you go to Maui?
January.
This last year.
Yeah, January.
Yeah.
January 14th to like the 20, I don't know, something. 24th. 14th to 24th, 10 days.
So
We went to Kauai too.
okay, but anywhere between Italy and Maui, or was Maui your next?
So yeah, Italy was in October 2018, and then in April of 2019 we went to Prague, and
That's on my bucket list too.
it was wild. It's a wild place.
Yeah.
and Paris. So we flew into Paris for 2 days, then we flew to Prague for 4 days, and then back to Paris for 2.
How's Paris? You like it?
Yeah, I wanted to see things, you know,
Yeah.
like the deluge, the archway, I even the arc, you know, I forget what they call it. You know, we went up inside the tower, you know.
Of course. I mean, you got to do that, right?
Hang in there, you know. But it was just nice to see, you know, nice to be there. We went to Montmartre.
Yep.
You know, that town. Yeah, that was kind of cool because it was like, you know, off the beaten path a little bit.
Right. I don't know if you know, my wife speaks French.
Oh,
She
okay.
lived in France for quite a while.
Oh, nice.
She wants to take me to Paris. She's like, we got to go to Paris.
Yeah.
So
What is she? Why? Would do what?
she just loves the culture and all that. You know, she just wants to show me France. And go. She has a list of places she wants to take me in.
Not inside Paris, just France.
Well, she said France or Paris specifically, but France in general.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I would like to see the countryside, you know, because I didn't
Right,
leave Paris, you know, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's on my bucket list too.
Yeah, that just looks in the history too. I'd love to see.
Yeah.
You know, the beach and you know all the history there. That would be cool. I love history. Anything with all history. So I know Prague's got crazy history.
Yeah. Well, they say it was one of the few cities that wasn't bombed in World War II.
Right, yeah.
So it's pretty pristine.
Yep, that's a.
You know, you walk everywhere there. You know, like the cars can't get around in the main area, like the downtown. There's the new city and the old city, right? And they're connected by that bridge that you see all the time, St. Charles Bridge. And you just walk across both ways, you know, and you can see all kinds of things. You know,
Yeah.
on the new side is the Prague Castle that you can walk all the way to the top, and then is Old Town Square on the old part of the city, which is where they got the astrological clock, and just all kinds of vending shops and kiosks of things.
Yeah.
And there's another castle there too. It's just you know, colorful buildings and you know, old world stuff. Looking.
Yeah, my wife's been to Prague, and I want to go. History, but the poker's great there too.
Oh, the poker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
You're a big poker player.
yeah, I love playing cards. And then London, we spent some time in London. That was super cool. I like seeing the history there, and we spent in different places, and we went to old neighborhoods, and specifically for that, you know. I don't give a shit about the tourist attractions. I don't care about that, you know. I want to go see. And then Cambridge, that was a lot of fun. Felt like I was, because we got bikes, bicycles, because that's your main transportation in Cambridge. You ever see Downton Abbey?
I don't know Cambridge.
Cambridge, England?
Yeah, I know it's in England.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know much about it. No, I never seen Downton
Okay,
Abbey.
but you know, God, I don't fucking what they call. I know my wife's going to be all the house that the abbey. I guess it's called an abbey, right? We stayed in one of those in England. It was super cool because like you'd ride your bicycle back from town, and you pull in that huge gravel driveway, and here's this huge abbey, and we were staying on the 3rd floor. And it was just super eclectic when you go in there. The guy had it all crazy looking and the history in there. And he, it was the 2nd or 3rd night, he happened to be there, the owner. And for a couple hours, he just walked us around the property and was telling all these crazy stories. And that was a lot of fun. But riding bikes in Cambridge, it's like riding through Harry Potter.
Wow.
You know, it's all cobblestones and everything's
How
like,
far from England is it?
Boo.
I mean, far
Or
from.
so- I was
I'm
gonna
sorry,
say,
London.
geez.
London.
London, we had to take a train in for the day, you know. God, how long was the train? Shit, dude, I'm sorry, man. I don't remember how long.
So it's
the
like in the
train
north. It's north of London.
was. I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, man. I'm
You're geographically challenged.
Yeah, on that part. Yeah, I just. The thing is, in the way we travel,
Yeah.
I say to my wife, you know, we decide where we're going, right? She's a planner. I am not. I just put a backpack on and point me in the direction we're going, right? So she plans everything, and I carry everything. So, you know, I'm fine with that. And we have a good time, and that's what we do. And then Hamburg, Germany, had a great time there. The Reeperbahn, the red light district.
Oh, okay.
It basically looks like Times Square, but prostitution's legal.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you how many times I got hit and slapped and my ass grabbed, and girls just like the prostitutes are extremely aggressive
Wow.
to get your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just standing there talking to our friends, and they'd walk right up and just punch me right in the chest and be like, "What? We doing this or not?" I'm like, "No, I'm good, thanks." They're like, "Whatever," and walk away. I'm
When
like,
was this?
"Shit." It was on our honeymoon. It was part of our honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a couple of those streets, and they were blocked off, and it was men only.
Uh-huh.
And you walk down the streets, and the ladies were performing in the windows.
Wow.
And then you know, hey, I want window 3 or I want window 2, and then they make arrangements.
Can you imagine that in the United States? The outrage that would cause.
God, that would be fucking.
Could you imagine?
I would like to see it.
It'll probably never happen.
But the thing though is, do you agree if they made? What would you think if they made prostitution legal?
It would turn the country upside down for a
You
long
think so?
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It would definitely be they'd have to find a way to do it, quote unquote, medically, like they did with marijuana.
Right.
To
Yeah, it could happen. You know, but
Yeah.
never say never. But you know,
yeah, oldest profession in the book.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
if the government can find a way to put tax on it and make some
Oh,
money,
they'd be all over
Yeah.
it, right? But I tell you what, though, down at because that's the docks. You know, the
Yeah.
Reeperbahn was the docks, right? And that's where the whole history of the prostitution is.
in
you know?
Amsterdam.
Yeah, well, in
I thought
Hamburg.
I thought it was Amsterdam. That's where. No.
Well, they call it the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and no, this was Hamburg, Germany.
Right. No, I got you.
Yeah, and you know, the docks back in the day, all the sailors would come in, so boom, prostitution, and they just hung on to it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but that was fun. Some amazing restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends took us to this place, Little, you know, because everything's built. You know, for me to use the restroom, man, it's tough sometimes because
Wow.
everything's so little.
It's like a little box.
Yeah, but the food was great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, overall the people are cool. You know, it was just the whole experience in Europe that I've had so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Love it. We definitely are going back.
Anywhere else in Europe you went?
No, those were
Uh-huh.
that was Hamburg, Cambridge, London, Southampton, back to, and then 7 days on the boat. Yep. But we wanted to not rush around, so we took so much time, right? I mean, I laid around a lot on our vacation, which was amazing. It's part of it, right?
Yeah.
And again, we knew a lot of people in these towns, and there was a lot of the people we knew.
Wait, how do you know people all over? You said Switzerland, Germany. How do you know these people?
Yeah. So when I met my wife, there's a group of people. There's this couple that like talk about living in the moment and doing all that. They know people, and then my wife was part of it. And then it's like every Monday night we get on a call with these people, and we just talk. We just talk like we're talking.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and it's just surrounding myself with nice people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so I would meet somebody in Germany, and they're like, "Hey, meet my friend in Switzerland," because I mean, right there, right? Cologne and all that. Oh, we know people in China. Hey, let's Shanghai. You know, she lives in Shanghai. Meet her. All of a sudden, we know all these people.
Yeah.
You know, so we start traveling. Hey, why don't you come over here? Hey, why don't you come over here? Oh, yeah, okay. And then that's why the last week was, no, just me and you. Let's just jump on the boat. And we met some people on the boat that we're still friends with. And they live in England. You know, they were coming to New York
Oh, that's
because
cool.
they'd never been to Times Square and all that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's how I just love traveling, dude.
Yeah.
Traveling is just,
Yeah. So
world's a big place.
yeah, it is. So where were we left? So Prague and Paris. That was April of last year, and then took another trip to England. I took a workshop for that was in November last year.
Okay. Workshop for,
Wedding filmmaking. So he's like one of the best in England,
okay.
and he solo shoots. primarily. So he kind of teaches the art of how to film a wedding
By
by
yourself?
yourself. Wow. And he's one of the best in the world, and his films are just incredible. But yet, 80% of them, 90% of them, he films just himself.
Ooh, that is an art.
Yeah. So I was really curious to see how he does it.
Where in England?
So he's, I can't remember the name of town he lives, but it's way up north. It's like 4-hour train ride to the north, on the coast.
Okay.
From London. But he came down to do the class in London.
Oh, okay.
So he rented, like Airbnb has places that you can rent out for the day for like an office in somebody's loft. Did you know that? I figured
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like, it's like, I don't know if it's part of Airbnb, but that's what they did.
It's kind of like
I think it's got a different name.
Work something.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah,
he rented out somebody's home, and it was like a really nice loft.
Okay.
In Bermondsey, and it was only 12 or 13 of us, so we're all just hanging out on these couches, and he rented a big screen TV so he could do his display there, and then they had a rooftop, so it was a cool little experience. It was a whole day. He took us out to dinner the day before, and then but only like 6 of us were there, so you know what I mean.
For the dinner, only 6 of you were for the dinner?
Yeah. And then 13 for the class, and then he took us all out for drinks afterwards.
So 1-day class?
1-day class, yeah.
Did you get a lot out of it?
I did. Yeah,
Awesome.
It was, lighting and composition, that's his thing, and I just didn't pay enough attention to that, so now I am.
Cool. And then that plays into you only doing 10 a year, and you're handling all of it.
Yeah, I think that's the way I can build my brand stronger, is because I'm going to have more time with my clients than the next person.
Right.
It's
not a wedding. It's not a mill.
Right. I'm not pushing out all these weddings. I'm only doing a select few. I'm really going to get to know my clients, and I'm going to cater a film that feels like them, looks like them, and it's what they wanted. I have that kind of time to spend with them, to meet with them, to go to the venue with them beforehand. All that
nice.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
and they pay for it.
Yeah. I'm more expensive than most, but they understand what they're getting.
Yeah, sure.
And I can, get into that higher end market that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a wedding or a mill's not going to get into that market for sure.
Right.
No matter how hard they try. Now, did you spend some time in England though? Or you just fly over there?
So we were there for 4 days.
Okay.
We just kind of walked the river, because like there was a lot of things to see in Trafalgar Square, and just walking around taking pictures. Like I like to get lost in the alleyways. I don't know where I am.
Yeah. I'm
So
a
we
fan
did
of
a lot
that
of
too.
that.
Yeah, I love the adventure of it. Yeah.
So we did a lot of that, and then when I was in the class, she went to my wife. She went to the soccer stadium. Where they play soccer in England, we're Americans. We don't follow soccer they do.
But only in the
world,
only the World Cup.
Only the World Cup, exactly. Yeah.
And when it's supposed to be some huge game, then I'll look at it. But
so to her, that's exciting, But yeah, it's just cool to walk around.
Yeah.
And then Iceland, that was part of work.
Right.
That was back, September last year, and then and then Hawaii, and then it brings us to Hawaii. So
what took you to Hawaii? Just because you?
This is my third time.
Yeah, but
my
you
third
just wanted to go.
This is my third time. I forgot to bring that up, but we went to Hawaii in 2015.
Oh, okay.
We went to
Where'd you go?
Kauai.
Just Kauai.
Just Kauai.
You been to Pearl Harbor?
No. Yeah. So that was first time I ever went. That was like early 2000s.
Oh, okay. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it'd have the same effect if I went again.
Yeah.
Because I know what's there now.
Right.
Because I had no idea what to expect. Right. You see stuff on TV, right?
Yeah.
But going back to what we were saying, it's nothing like when you're standing there looking down at the oil leaking. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that got me on that was the homeless.
It was so long ago. What did you experience? I don't remember seeing any homeless.
What? Really?
Well, when I was there, no.
Not in Maui.
No, I'm talking about Honolulu.
Yeah, Honolulu. So we were in Maui for 2 weeks, and my buddy and I, we were with friends and family and all that. We flew to Honolulu, right? as soon as we got off the plane, getting a taxi, just nothing but homeless, just piled everywhere.
Wow.
And then the on ramp, right? So you're going down the highway, and then the ramp will go up.
Yeah.
Underneath, they would have it all boarded up till it got to about 10 feet, and then they'd wall it off. And they'd have a door and a guy or somebody standing there, and people were coming in and out like a hotel.
Right. That's the where the homeless live.
Yeah, that's where they would live. And then we went down to some strip downtown area. I don't remember. There's a ton of homeless, right? We end up at like a bar restaurant watching some game, drinking, doing all that. Just like 1 o'clock in the morning. We come out, and we had to walk in the grass or on the street because the sidewalk was filled with homeless people in tents and sleeping bags and just sleeping on the sidewalk.
Wow.
You couldn't even walk on the sidewalk.
Wow.
And then we stayed in this little hotel and went to Pearl Harbor the next day and then flew back the same day. But it just stuck out with me. The homeless was crazy. I mean, if you're going to be homeless anywhere, why not Hawaii, right? I mean, look at the weather.
When was this? What year?
10 maybe? 2010?
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in there.
I was there 2000, so I didn't see that.
Holy man. I wonder if like California and Texas and New York like shipped everybody out there.
Yeah.
Could be, right? You ever hear of them doing that? Like give cities give bus tickets to homeless to ship them to another city?
I did actually. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a way to get rid of them, right? But Maui, you like Maui?
Love it.
Oh my God, it's
So we stayed. I say when I went in 2000, we did the road to Hana like everyone.
ugh.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, okay.
There's good and bad about it I can get into, but that town that you drove through to get there before the road starts, Paia.
Yeah.
You know that town?
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So this past January we stayed there.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so when we went there, when we went to the road to Hana, when I was there first time in 2000, we stopped off at there was less stores back then. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
But that main strip that goes up away from the ocean, that's got like the health food store in there. We just got like this like really wholesome sandwich, just like avocado and just I don't remember what it was, but it was just like, it was so good, And we took that on the trip with us, and it was just like this cool little town. And I was just like, this is like, it's like a hippie town,
Yeah.
And I was just wanted to go back there. So
Cool.
we ended up, when I went there in January, we stayed at Airbnb there.
Same there.
Yeah.
You stop at the little shacks and get banana bread?
Yeah.
The roadside?
On the road to Hana, yeah. It wasn't that good.
No, man.
I was like, this is not all that good at banana
that road
bread.
to Hana.
But we got a
I
cup of
just-
coffee. It was good.
Yeah?
With it was really
Yeah,
good.
good? Yeah, I don't know, man. It might be my personal experience or whatever, but then we get to the top and I'm like,
Did you do the hike at the 7 sacred pools?
fuck, no, I didn't do
Oh,
that.
we did that twice. I did it both times.
Yeah, nice.
Let's do the 2 mile hike up top. The first time we went too late. You know what I mean? We spent so much time on the trips that we got,
yeah.
and we did the 2 mile hike up. And then when we came
Dark.
back, it was dark by the second mile. So we actually hiked all the way back. And that was before, I don't think they had cell phone lights back then,
Yeah,
So, and then there was cattle back then too. They had like these cattle just running wild in there.
Yeah, run into one of those in the dark. Huh?
Yeah. So it was pretty scary,
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
We made
it's
it
an
back.
adventure, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So-
Did you see the pig heads on the stakes?
yeah.
Yeah. Those were there for a while.
Yeah.
You go to the lava fields in the tide pools at the end?
We went to the Ovaline pools. You know where they are? They're on
Oh.
the. So you know how like you go down the road to that's the Hana is on to the right side of the island, but we went all the way around the other side of the
Sure.
island.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
North Shore and all that, right? Is that what you're talking about?
No, there's like how Maui like it splits into
Looks like a
it's skinny,
kidney.
skinny in the middle.
Yeah.
We went the other side. We went on the left
Yeah,
side.
I've been all the way around.
All the way
I've been
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one lane for like 5 miles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Just, yeah.
They have the Ovaline pools when you go
I
that
remember
route.
those.
So those are the
Right.
tide pools, and so we went and climbed down all the way to the bottom.
yeah, sure.
I've got shots of me like jumping rock to rock, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the water's rolling in. Really cool.
See, I thought when I saw those pictures, you didn't go through the lava fields to get to that?
No, we just parked on that left side of the island and then hiked down in, and
Okay.
explored
Did you
that
go
area
through the
there.
lava fields?
No, I don't know the.
Oh, I thought that was one of the.
Oh, you mean
biggest-
at the top of the mountain?
No,
No,
it's
no.
down by it's down on, so on one side of the island you have Big Beach, Black Beach, and
Yeah, we went to Big Beach.
I love that, dude.
Big Beach is awesome,
Dude, that's
where it's got the little,
fucking nuts,
and then they got a
dude.
smaller beach. I think it's
Yeah,
called
yeah.
Small Beach. on the
Small
other-
Beach and
but
Big
it's a
Beach.
nude beach. I didn't know it was a nude beach.
Small Beach is that a new beach? I didn't
Small
know
Beach
that.
is a new beach. So you go to Big Beach. We're hanging out at Big Beach.
Yeah, and then there's that rock formation that sticks
yeah,
out,
and,
right?
and you walk up and over.
And there's Small Beach.
Yeah, and then
I
there's
didn't know
Small
it was.
Beach.
I didn't know it was
Big
a new
Beach and Small Beach.
Yeah, I knew
it's
that.
a new beach.
I didn't know that.
So like we go over, like we were at the Big Beach, for an hour or two.
Dude, I love that beach, man.
I went in
that
the-
was amazing.
It is. I went in the water, and the water was so clear and clean, and the waves weren't like too big, but they're
Right.
like rolling over me, and you're just in the water, like just wading in the water, and I'm
The
looking at my
salt and
feet,
you
and it's just so clean.
Oh,
You
it's
know?
amazing. Yeah, I agree.
I took my GoPro in there, and I'm just like, it's going up and down, getting shots with the, in the water.
water,
and
no
stuff.
water.
Yeah,
Oh,
love
that's cool.
that,
Yeah. That's always a fun shot.
Yeah, and then we decided to go over to Small Beach, and we go over to Small Beach, and there's an old man, got it all hanging out. It's the first thing we see when we get over there, and
You're like, wait.
and I was like, I don't think so.
Well, the thing is, nude beaches are never what you think they're going to be.
No, generally they're older, unattractive people that are sitting at them.
Yeah. The only time you think that, like, you ever been to Vegas?
No.
Or like a town like that or a city like that? So there's hotels that will have nude pools, right? And what they do is they just pay strippers to go sit up there and tan and work on their tan to attract people.
Sure.
So when you see that, you're like, whoa, but then you realize, okay, that's set up that way.
They're just paid to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's not real.
yeah, but you go to a nude beach, and you're like, what the fuck? Get the fuck. Woo.
So did you hike on the road to Hana? You can go to the Red Sand Beach. You can stop
Never
off.
went there. No.
Oh, okay, so that's a nude beach too.
Oh, okay. Same
but-
conclusion?
But it's mixed.
Oh, okay.
It's mixed.
Okay.
But anyway, you hike about a quarter mile on a cliff. You know what I mean? Like it's a skinny pathway,
Yep.
and it drops off. So they talk about it on YouTube like it's so dangerous, but it's not. It's not. It's
No.
pretty walkable, but it's cool. I mean, the sand's red.
Yeah.
And then you walk around, you walk down, and we got a couple pictures, and then we went back out to
Back
Rhode
down.
Island. But it's a nice little spot. But I think we did spend a lot of time by that big beach area. Do you remember the name of that city? It's called Kaului or something like that.
Yep.
Starts with a K.
There's a nice restaurant not too far from there. We would always stop and eat. That was
Oh.
kind of like a tradition. You stop, you have lunch there, and then you go to Big Beach.
Well, they have the food trucks there. Did you
Oh,
go to that's a
no.
big thing in Hawaii, in Maui now. The food trucks.
Oh, see,
They had a park. They had a park that we went to by the big beach, not too far from Big Beach, and it's
was
just
nothing but
it's a
food
huge parking lot, and it's nothing but food trucks.
oh, that's super cool.
yeah, and then it's like a courtyard that you all sit, and
Yeah,
it was all
yeah.
tented, and you can just get all this variety of all these.
That's
crazy
what I
things,
love about when
you know?
there's 5 food trucks. They're all drastically different.
Yeah.
So now you can get whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I thought to myself, maybe this is where the food trucks started. It was a big thing. I saw them everywhere, and then even in Kauai too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go to North Shore? Did you see any of those guys surfing?
North Shore in Maui. Mm-hmm. That's Paia.
Is that? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we didn't really go to that beach, but the
Well, we
waves
didn't-
weren't that big.
See, we weren't. We went to Mama's Fish House. Right,
okay.
to eat,
Yeah, I know it.
and not too far from there, you can look down on the North Shore, and that's
Yeah.
what we did. We never went down to the beach
Right.
because I could care less about that.
Yeah, I know that place. We passed it a bunch of times.
Yeah, man, watching those guys surf.
Yeah.
Again, going back to you see it on TV, you're like, that's crazy. Then you see them do it live, and you're like, what? You
Yeah.
got a death wish, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. So you ever been to Key West?
Yes. I filmed a wedding there.
Okay. Were you down there with us?
No.
Okay. What do you think? What do you like better, Maui or Key West?
I'm not a big fan of Key West.
No,
Not at
I
all.
love Key West. Well, yeah, I loved Key
thought
West when I was there.
I thought it was like my expectations were bigger than what it was, in my
Okay.
mind. I found it to be like really kind of dirty,
Dirty. I knew you were going to say dirty. Yeah.
and I was really shocked about that.
Oh, really?
Like
I
really,
wasn't.
I didn't know it was going to be like that. I thought this was like this pristine,
No.
place. And I mean, I knew there wasn't really much of a beach there too, so there wasn't any beach, and the wedding wasn't actually at Key West. It was at that state park that's like 70 miles away. Dry
Going up.
Tortugas,
Yeah.
Dry Tortugas National Park.
Yep. I know where that
It's
is.
that fort,
Yep,
You go.
yep.
So that's where the wedding actually took place. So the whole wedding party got on the boat and
Headed up there, huh?
ended up there. But we had rough waves, and about 80% of the people got seasick.
Oh, that makes for good film, huh?
Yeah, you're talking about severely ill parents that could barely stand to watch the wedding.
That tends
Crazy, huh?
And then the bride and everything thinks it's going to be some beautiful tropical wedding, right?
Yeah, you know what's funny is I got a friend I grew up in high school with, and he lives in Fort Lauderdale. And I told him what was going on. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to film a wedding. We're going to get on a boat, and we're going to go to Dry Tortugas. He's like, you're going to take a wedding party on a boat? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, that's a bad idea. I'm like, why? He's like, dude, if they get seasick, he
You're
called
done.
it. He called it. Like, he really called it out, and it happened.
Did he have experience with it, or he just?
He just knows
He just knows.
how people can really easily get seasick.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're not
for
used
sure.
to it,
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, like when I was in Iceland and I was out in that boat in the middle of the seas, like I could only get up and film for like 10, 15 minutes at a time before
Yeah.
I had to go back down and lay down. I mean,
Really?
that boat's rocking. Like it was crazy.
It wasn't like Deadliest Catch like that, was it? It wasn't that bad.
No, but it's moving
Still.
big,
Yeah.
like side to side, constantly I was on the boat for 16 hours in Iceland.
Whew. I remember when I got on the boat on the Queen Mary, it's fucking the Queen Mary too.
Yeah, it doesn't rock too much, right? It's big.
Yeah. Duh. So the theater is in the front,
Yeah.
okay, on like the third floor. So you're kind of in the front, in the middle. And every day they had something going on, right? They give you a schedule, and if you want to go, great. If you don't go. And they had this guy doing a talk on ocean liners and history of that, so that fascinated me. And it was the day after we left shore. I remember sitting there looking at him, and I could tell that the boat was going up and down, and I could feel it, like huge. And then wave warning and everything came over. So you can imagine the seas we were in to move that boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can imagine being in something a tenth that size in that same type of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that. No.
Well, I mean,
I love boats, but
in Iceland, there was only 3 fishermen on the boat, and they pulled in thousands and thousands of fish. Just 3 guys.
nets.
No, they did the hook system. So they had a pulley, and the line went out, and then it was on like a trough when it came in, and then one guy unhooks with like a spear. He hooks the fish as it comes up out of the boat on the line, on the hook.
Oh, shit.
And then
Okay.
he puts it down. They're like in the middle of the boat.
Yep.
Then it goes down way in, and there are these huge bins. They filled up 6 bins. I would say
So-
you probably fit like a couple thousand fish in one bin.
How big were the fish?
This big, like
So it was on a
2
li-
feet, 2 feet.
So it was
2,
on a
3 feet.
line, and as the line came through, he would just grab them off the line.
Yeah, with a spear, but it was like I had a hook on it. So you got one guy like kind of guiding the fish through the trough, and another guy spearing it off, and then he puts it in the trough, and then the other guy makes sure that it goes. He separated the species,
Damn.
and then the other guy's maintaining the line, and the
Holy-
whole time the boat's rocking, and they barely took a break. You're talking 16 hours. These
Holy man.
guys are made of steel. I mean,
I'd like to see
serious.
that. Is that for the public or no?
I can show you some of my shots. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. And the boat's not as big as you think. I mean, it's really, 30 feet.
Some big waves, right?
Yeah, it had some big waves. We were rocking the whole time, and thank God they had 4 beds, and I spent most of it. I actually literally slept because we were so exhausted. We never stopped. Like we were just going the whole time. But yeah, we slept for a good 6-7 hours out of that 16. Just exhausted.
That's a nice adventure though to
Yeah, it was.
be able to do.
Yeah.
Maui though, going back.
Yeah. We got to circle back.
You gonna go back to Maui?
Definitely. I think Hawaii, like, it just feels like home. Like
that's cool.
I was just there in another life or something. I just belong there. So through all my travels and all my explorations of the world, I wish that I could go to Hawaii every year. Or try. You know what I mean? At least spend a little bit of time. It's really about Kauai. I think that island I'm just fascinated with.
Yeah. There's a lot of history there too.
Have you been there? Oh, okay. Well, when we were there in 2015, we did the Kalalau Trail. You ever hear the Kalalau Trail? It's an 11-mile hike that goes to a beach, and the only way to get there is the 11 miles. You can't get in any other way.
That's kind of cool.
And it's on the it's on the Nepali Coast Mountains. So you're on the coast the whole time, and you're up and down and up and down, and it was just the adventure of a lifetime.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you want to go back and do it again?
Well, the moral of the story is we made it to mile 7, which is Crawler's Ledge.
Okay.
It's about there's this one part that's maybe 15 feet, and it's only maybe like a foot of ledge, and you have to like kind of sideways just jimmy it, foot to foot. And my wife, she couldn't do it. She had a panic attack. So
did you have to coax her down, or she?
No. I mean, we didn't.
Little?
I mean, once she saw, we saw some other people do it in front of us. They only allow so many people on the trail per day. Only like 30 or 40 or something like that. So you got to get a permit and you got to get approval like 3 months in advance. But yeah, she got scared. So there's a camp at mile 6. So I had my tent with me and my backpack and everything. And I had like 30 pounds. I mean, you're talking about food for 2 days and trend and everything it was crazy. I never did anything like that. I mean, you talk about like, okay, we're going to go on a hike, and then a week later I decide we're going to do the Kalalau Trail, not really knowing, what it takes to be able to do the Kalalau Trail. They call it one of the most 10 dangerous hikes in the world. And
to get to a beach.
I was ready. Like, I mean, I could have shimmied the ledge. I could have, but I want to go back there. I mean, that's one of my. I got to go back there and get to that beach
and finish it.
I got to.
Now, do you think you can get your wife to do it, or are you going to do that solo?
No, she can't do it.
Yeah.
She won't. It's scary. It's 80 feet drop off
into the ocean, though,
yes.
right? Yeah.
No, I mean like rock. I mean, you'd probably hit rock first before you hit
but
ocean,
But it's right on the edge of the island,
Yeah.
right? So it's the ocean's hitting the.
Yeah. So the island is impassable from the Kalalau Trail all the way down to the state park. And then the other thing I like about it is the state park, which is called Kokeye State Park. Just incredible trails through the rainforests.
Yeah, of course.
You you got to go around the other way to get there. You've got to drive all the way around, like an hour and a half,
right,
to get into that park. And there's a particular trail that we like to do that we did both times we were there. It's a 6.5 mile dirt road that you need to take a Jeep into. It's a 4-wheel drive trek, and then it leads to like this 4-mile majestic hike in the mountains where it's rainforest, and then you get to the top of the rainforest and you look over, it looks like Grand Canyon. So it's rainforest mixed in with Grand Canyon. And
that would be cool.
And there's all these overhangs. So as you're like going through, you got to hike over a stream first, like you got a boulder hop. It's like one of the first things you come to. And then you hike up a mountain, but it's very, very grassy and soft. And then you come up to the next little piece and it looks like the redwood forest. So you go from like jungle to redwood forest, and then you climb up the mountain
in Grand Canyon.
And then you get to the top, which is like the first mile when you get to the first top, and then it looks like the Grand Canyon. But you're in a rainforest. but that part of the, off to the right looks like Grand Canyon. So,
Now is that where they filmed Jurassic Park?
yeah. Yeah, a lot of movies are filmed in Kauai, and Jurassic Park,
I was just going to say,
in Kauai.
that's where when you first started talking about it, I'm like, how do I know that? I have never been there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've heard that before, and it's just ringing a bell. Why?
Yeah,
That's why.
A lot of movies have done that. But anyway, this park has like 15 main trails, and it's just like, incredible. But this one is the most remote out of anyone. So literally, when we got into the parking lot, no one was there. No one.
You were by yourself.
By ourselves, 6.5 miles in deep in this state park, and it's scary.
Imagine.
So the first time we went was 2015, and we did the same trail, and there were hunters, native hunters, and they had rifles with scopes, and they were hunting pigs, and we passed them. It was the only person we saw, but it's a little scary. I don't have a gun. I don't have any kind of weapon or anything like that.
You're gonna end up on the spigot, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up on the spigot, But we passed them, said hello. They passed us and was like, but you talk about a little bit scary.
Yeah.
You're out in the middle of nowhere. They could do anything they wanted to.
Oh, of course, yeah. Nobody's ever gonna find out.
No one's ever find out.
No.
But so we went back, in January. We did the same trail again, and it wasn't the same. It was more overgrown. It's kind of worn down. It didn't look the same.
Oh, okay.
The first time was the best, but
You think it's been used more now? So
no, it hasn't been used. It just seems like people just haven't, it was hard to find the path like it used to be. I mean, it had what's cool about it is it has these hedges that overhang, and then the moss grows on the path. So it's like walking on carpet, and then it's covered in hedges. You know what I mean? So you're walking through this tunnel that's like a carpeted path for a while, like different
That's
strips
so
of
cool.
it. It's wild.
Yeah,
and then you'll come to a vista and you'll look over and it looks like the Grand Canyon, but you're in this rainforest. It's just insane.
Snapping away with the camera?
Yeah,
or what?
yeah,
Oh,
video.
of course.
Mostly video. Just getting shots of like movement, through the trees and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's no mosquitoes because at 4,000 feet above sea level, there's no mosquitoes.
Right.
So and then the birds, birds
are black flies or nothing.
No, nothing
eating on you.
Nothing.
Okay.
And then the birds just fly right next to you because they're just not used to humans.
Yeah, not scared of it.
So,
They're like going.
It was cool. And we did another path. Which took us down to a canyon the next day. We went there. The last time I went there twice. It's just such a cool place.
So just day trip, and then where do you stay? You camp? Or is there a lodge
No.
of some
The
kind?
island's really small. It's smaller than Maui. So,
wow.
So
Okay.
you can literally go from the Kalalau Trail all the way to this park where it ends at the park.
Yep.
And you can't go any further once you get to the end of the park, and you can't go any further from the top when you get to the Kalalau Trail. And there's about 15 miles in between. So there's 15 miles of Kauai that's impassable. It's called on the Pali Coast. So yeah, you can drive from the Kalalau Trail, which is at the very top of the island where the road stops, and get to the park in probably 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour and 45, depending.
Okay. Yeah, depending on how quick you go, right?
Yeah. I mean, like you're talking 60 miles.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
And now you stay there, but is there like
Yeah.
hotel?
So we stay in Airbnbs.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how populated
We stayed
it
in
was.
Princeville this time, whereas before we stayed Kapa. So the Kapa is like kind of close to the airport.
Yep,
It's on
yep.
it's on the east coast, and then Princeville's up top. It's like more of like a rich area,
Okay.
wealthy area. And we just stayed in one of the condos, and it was cool.
So since you like to travel and use Airbnb, somebody turned us on to Hip Camp. You ever
Never
hear
heard
that?
of it. No.
Oh, dude, you're gonna text me tomorrow and be like, "I just spent 12 hours on Hip Camp, you fucker."
Oh no.
It's, I think it's Airbnb. I think it's the same company, but it's all cabins and yurts and that type of thing. So
Cool.
you rent those instead of somebody's house.
Yeah.
So my wife and I have done it a bunch of times already. The latest one was Thanksgiving last year. Up in the Catskills, we spent 4 days in a cabin with no power, no running water, no electricity or anything. Just a wood stove and You know, got to split the wood to
Wow.
keep it warm.
Very cool. Yeah,
you know?
you got to send it to me. I wanna know
So
about it.
just Hip Camp.
Yeah.
Hip Camp. Just type it
Okay.
in. It'll pop right up. And our next trip with that is down in the Shenandoah Mountains.
Okay.
We're going to stay in a tree house.
No way.
A
Shenandoah, where I've heard of
down
it.
at like West Virginia.
Oh, yeah,
Shenandoah.
yeah.
So you can go on to Hip Camp and pick like an area and narrow it down to tents, cabins with no power, cabins with just water. I mean, you can get that detailed with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw tree houses on there. I'm like, how cool would that be? Click, found one. We're going to stay there. That's coming up soon.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought
That's
with you
exciting.
traveling, like you like hiking and stuff,
Yeah.
you go and grab one of those,
Uh-huh.
and they're going to be in any, pick somewhere you want to be. I bet you there's a ton of them in and Hawaii,
Yeah.
Kauai and all that. So look at that with Hip Camp,
Yeah.
and I bet you'll find like yurts and tents and cabins and all that.
Cool.
So I think I'm almost positive it's Airbnb, the company.
Uh-huh.
That's their division
Uh-huh.
to separate that. Check it out
Nice,
though.
nice.
I think you'll really dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, Switzerland, that'll be my next. I'll take a look, see if I can find it.
Absolutely.
There.
Yeah. How would that be
Yeah.
cool? Stay in a yurt in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta shut this down.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
making the time, coming to this cool place. Give these guys a shout out. I'll put what is it?
Stay calm.
Stay Calm Industries, marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll hook you up. We'll have all your stuff in the show notes too.
Perfect.
All your links and
Yeah,
show
thanks for
people
the
all your
invite.
cool. Yeah, I wanted to hear about your trips, man. I
Yeah.
see it and I'm like, I know this dude. He filmed my wedding, but what is all this traveling? I thought
Just got the bug, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it'd make good conversation. So,
Yeah, for sure.
all right, bud. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Guy does some traveling, right? Man, he's just a lot of fun. Really cool dude to hang out with. Check out some of his great work at his website. In the show notes, I got a link to his stuff. Also, while you're at it, jumping around the internet, got a couple things asking of you. Got a new website up. Check that out, Walt's Kitchen Table. That was a lot of fun putting that project together. And then YouTube, subscribe, like, and share. And review on any platform that you're listening to. Just hit the stars and tell a friend, or 5, 7, maybe. And don't forget, the guys over at Live Rishi, awesome stuff, awesome crew. Use the code word table. Get a great discount on some high quality organic CBD product. Until next time, much love.